Okay guys, welcome back. I hope everyone enjoyed the practical session. Awesome job from Matthew, taking you through synaptogenesis on a little bit more detail, training to learn and training to perform circuits, and then obviously the golf course stuff that Eric showed was we could see everyone having fun, crumbling under pressure at times and stress. But you know, that's the kind of training that really is going to help with the transference of skill. So Matthew, everything that I talked about, Matthew took you through the practical side that really is going to help students retain movement patterns and start to transfer, because there's always that overlap. And Eric really took you through everything that's going to help the transference of that generalized motor pattern into competition through helping students develop the ability to deal with adversity and adapt. Hope you all enjoyed lunch, and thank you for taking the time to listen to a few words from our sponsors, Gravity Fit, which is an awesome training aid, and obviously Zach Parker, a very passionate guy who follows the GLT philosophy. He doesn't just sell a training aid, he sells a device that creates kinesthetic fields that then can be transferred into training to learn circuits, and he does a great job of being one of our preachers and part of our team. And then obviously Capto, as Eric, when he jumped in Matthew's training to perform circuit, which involves some putting, just taking you through how Capto is a device where you can actually capture data in full context. So the putting performance games, outcome, varying slopes, varying holes, and you're capturing data every single time. So you really start to get, as I talked about earlier, pure data. You're not just in a lab hitting 5 flat puts down a 10-foot line with a device that you can't move. Capto really helps you capture data that can improve your mechanics, but with contextual interference. If you're going to have to perform in context one day, it makes sense that data can be captured there and also trained there. So thanks to Gravity Fit and thanks to Capto for being two of our biggest partners and sponsoring this event today. Okay, so sports psychology. I've changed my own personal beliefs and my own personal practice a lot over the last few years. I used to share and instruct sports psychology in a way that was very explicit. And I believe your guys' experience playing those performance games out there and then being on those on-course games designed by Eric, I believe you just experience sports psychology, but in a more powerful way, in an implicit way. So I start to believe more and more and more that the development of psychological characteristics of excellence come from an implicit place, not being given explicit instruction. There is still a place for some explicit instruction, but now all of my coaching, all of it, is done in the performance environment. If we are talking golf and sports psychology, we are out in the performance environment doing it. Even if I'm doing goal setting, I'll be playing with the player, I'll be on the course talking. So I'm going to take you through the basics of my sports psychology course, which is available online for free, and the basics of the book that I wrote, Ossphere, Practical Ways to Learn Golf's Mental Game. And I'm going to suggest that there are ways that these can be implicitly learned. So here we have a picture of, well, I believe the greatest player of all time. When he gets to 82 wins, I think he'll be the greatest player of all time. And as he stands on this hole, high contextual interference on this hole with the wind, the tucked pin, the water, you're towards the end of the round, you know, one of the most famous holes in golf, the 17th at TPC Sawgrass. Tiger Woods has an ability to do this. He has an ability to get his thoughts and his feelings to match his intention at all times. One of the masters of it. Now, when a club golfer steps foot on that tee, they walk up and they think, holy smoke, look at all this water. Oh my God, I hope I don't chunk it. I'll probably change from my brand new Pro V, I'll probably change to a Pinnacle for this hole. Their thoughts and their feelings do not match their intention. So, how did Tiger Woods train that? How do club golfers get their thoughts and feelings to match their intention? I used to believe, you know, you can see someone like myself, a mental performance coach, or there's some great sports psychologists out there that have great success on the PGA Tour. Dr. Brett McCabe working with a number of players, Bob Rotella, maybe the founding father of sports psychology, definitely brought it into the mainstream with his books. But now, I believe, personally slightly different, I believe the way you practice. I believe if you want a player to get their thoughts and feelings to match their intention when they're on the golf course, then they need to be put under stress in practice, and they will implicitly learn, okay, I am currently failing at this task repeatedly, I have to change something. And a coach, sports psychologist or coach could be there as a guide, but ultimately, if the player wants to perform, the player is the one that's going to have to do it. So, just a quick overview. When I was at Bishopsgate Golf Academy and the IJGA Golf Academy, I did a very good job changing sports psychology, academia, into understandable pictures and graphs, like the one you've just previously seen. Tiger Woods gets his thoughts and feelings to match his intention, T plus F equals I, and now this one, the blue triangle. So, what type of thoughts does Tiger Woods have? Well, Tiger Woods has process-orientated thoughts. Process-orientated thoughts are at the bottom of the blue triangle, and they mean that you relax. And if you relax, your thoughts, process-orientated, and your feelings, relaxed feelings, will take you closer to your intention. Hitting it on the green at TPC Sawgrass, winning a tournament, having fun while you play, making birdies, whatever your intention is. If you can have process-orientated thoughts, and a process-orientated thought is a thought that you can 100% control, that's where you find solace, because you can then relax. But most of our golfers are having outcome thoughts. Don't screw up. I've got to make birdie. I've got to make par. These are things that you can't control. If you can't control these, you'd be at the top of the blue triangle. Your thoughts would be outcome, and therefore your feelings would be stressed. And you'd go through this red arrow spiral. You'd feel nervous or angry, physiology would change, your thinking changes, you start to miss the wind, not pick up on differing lies, and ultimately all of this impacts your golf swing. So good golf mechanics is directly linked to getting the ability to get your thoughts and your feelings to match your intention. And the process that I used to teach players was OSPHEO. Options, selection, visualization, execution, and acceptance. So next time everyone in the room, and for you guys watching the certification, next time you watch the Golf Channel, try and see past all this swing analysis and watch the total process. You will see that every single player assesses their shot options. They then select a target, a club, and a shot shape. All of them go into some form of visualization. So there's the O, S, and V. And visualization can be see, it can be feel, it can be hear, and then they'll execute. And when the best players in the world execute, they're in the moment. They're automated, and that negative voice that we have, that inner chimp that's in our mind, is quiet. And then after they hit that shot, they accept the outcome. Most of them. John Ram and Sergio Garcia potentially excluded. So psychological characteristics of excellence are a process focus. So sports psychology is the ability to get your thoughts and feelings to match your intention. Process focused thoughts equal relaxed feelings that will get you closer to your intention. Unfortunately, outcome thoughts, because you can't control them, get you stressed, further away from your intention. So when I was at Bishopsgate, the process I taught was OSPHERE. Option selection, visualization, execution, and acceptance. So if we watch this video, you will see what I'm talking about. So we can see a framework, OSVEA, two incredible players, Jason Day and Jordan Spieth. They pass through this Osphere framework. It's a process focus, and it's the way of getting their thoughts and feelings to match their intention. Their physical movements and their cognition, the two things that make up the pre-shot routine, are synergizing and are helping them access their best swing when it matters the most. When I was at Bishopsgate and IJGA, that's the program that a lot of the students followed. And I was very proud of the program because I explained that Osphere was just a framework, and we'd go and we'd do a lot of challenges on the range, and students would discover the best process for them. So while I encouraged every student to go through OSVEA in that order, what went into each component had to be down to that individual. And we've just seen Jason Day, very imagery driven with a bit of feel, and Jordan Spieth, very feel driven with a bit of imagery. So I thought that the program that I was developing at IJGA and Bishopsgate was awesome because it was taking sports psychology, breaking it down, making it digestible and practical for students of the appropriate age. And I would say, hey guys, what's the goal of sports psychology? And every student would say, it's to get your thoughts and feelings to match your intention. And I'd say, how do you do that? And they'd say, process focus, coach, process focus. What's your process? Osphere. What do you do in the E of Osphere? Oh, I hold the target in my mind, or I focus on tempo. What's important in O? Or assessing the wind and the lie. They had it. They all had it. They all had the knowledge. Got into a tournament, all went out the window, same habits emerged. And I used to ask myself, why? Why is this happening? Why do they understand it? They're experiencing it practically on the range. And we did play some games on the course. We did take the drills to the course. But just the transference was never as high as I wanted it to be. And yes, it's down to the individual. Some of those students aren't motivated. Some of those students are very entitled. But still, cast that aside, what could I have done better? And then I started to see, man, this happens with the best players in the world. So a couple more videos and just really listen to this. Listen to these two interviews and try and follow, were they process focused or were they outcome focused? What happened? Did their Ospheres break down? Were they getting their thoughts and feelings to match their intention?
What did you learn today? I learned what I learned in 2014, and it's just stay committed on 12. It's a 150-yard shot, and I feel like I can bleed it next to the hole, and it's a stock and iron for me, but that hole, for whatever reason, just has people's numbers, so stay committed behind the bunker. That's about it. It was really one swing. 10 and 11, you can take bogeys there. I was still 2 under for the tournament with a couple par 5s left. My goal for the day was 4 under. So we were still right on pace. I just didn't take that extra deep breath. Michael said, hit it right here, hit it right here. And I remember just getting over the ball thinking I'm just going to go ahead and hit a little cut to the hole, and that's what I did in 2014, and it cost me a tournament then too. That was the right club, it was just the wrong shot. I was more comfortable hitting a draw with my irons, and I knew that every time I played fades this week, that shot kind of came out, and I just, at the time, you're going to throw all bad swings away, and you're just going to focus on how confident you can step into that shot, and that's what I did, but the swing just wasn't quite there to produce the right ball flight. So, ultimately, I should have just played a draw on that hole.
So, Jordan Spieth, bogey, 10 and 11, stands on 12, goes through his options with Michael Greller, one of the best caddies in the game, who he pays millions of dollars to, selects a club, selects a shot shape, which is a draw to the center of the green, selects his target as well, has his practice swings. We've seen his routine, we know his routine. He's feeling the draw, He walks into the ball, and as he gets over the ball, maybe because he got bogey and his lead's diminished, he changes his shot shape. Well, now his whole process is broken down. OSV, we're all about draw to the center of the green. He's got over the ball, he's got outcome focused, and he's decided to hit fade. Fans it, lose the Masters, Danny Willett. There you go, green jacket. So, Jordan Spieth, one of the best players in the world, a process breakdown under stress, under absolute stress, when it mattered the most, his process broke down. I started to think, actually, maybe it's okay for the kids that I'm coaching at IJGA and Bishopsgate for their processes to break down if Jordan's are. Let's have a look at another example.
All those years, all that hard work. On the one putt, to give himself a chance to claim his first major in play. This to force the title. The left right, and the big easy is your open champion.
I started paying attention around the turn there, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I was obviously in pretty good position, but a long way to go. And I think I played kind of accordingly to that. I hit a lot of good shots, hit a lot of greens. I left a lot of putts short right in the middle today, but felt I didn't need to rush anything at the hole. I was just, trying not to take any risks and keep hitting good shots, make pars, but that didn't quite work.
So there, Adam Scott. Adam Scott has a chance to win his first major, and what does he do? He has a chance to go 4 clear, doesn't take it, starts looking at the leaderboards, starts to not 3-putt, starts to try and protect. Everything is outcome, 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 outcome. There's 68 holes before that. The process orientation that got him into that position, under stress, it eluded him, and he lost. He lost the chance to win the British Open in 2012, and Ernie Els from nowhere took that trophy from him. So again, one of the best players in the world, and when it matters the most, couldn't access the highest performance. Why? Why is that? And this will be a bold statement, but I believe it's practice. I don't think these guys are putting enough stress on themselves when they're practicing, when they're trying to get better. They're not always looking in the right areas. They potentially look at mechanical changes before they look at the ability to deal with the adversity and the ability to adapt. And I think there's 2 coaches right now in the world that are helping change the sport of golf, and I believe will change it forever. And that's Dave Allred, he piles pressure on his players. He coaches Molinari. It's not surprising to me that Molinari can do what he does under absolute stress. Because Dave Aldred, the quest for excellence between him and Frankie is unbelievable. The pressure that he throws Frankie in training, on-course challenges, practice challenges, the margins that he makes him work towards. Molinari's scared. He's nervous in practice because he never knows what Aldred's going to throw at him. And Stuart Morgan, Director of Performance for the Swiss PGA, I've been fortunate enough to co-coach with him. And one of the games that he has designed that is based around driver, 9-iron, pitching wedge, sand wedge, and then chipping and putting. And it's an on-course challenge based on the clubs you need to be good at to make birdies on tour. And the outcomes that he set are based on numbers from watching many European tour players play this game. I'm not going to share the exact specifics of the game. It's Stu's intellectual property, but reach out to Stuart Morgan if you want to. But when I co-coached with him, the girls that are on the Symetra and the LPGA tour that we were with, and the stories he was telling me about the tour players, the pressure that this game was putting on them, the stress that this game was putting on them, they were learning in practice to not get outcome focused. They were learning in practice to not break their pre-shot routines. And they were stressed, they were frustrated, but they started to have success. They started to move in the right direction. They started to inoculate the stress response in practice without any instruction from myself or Stu. From time to time, we may give a little guidance, but we certainly weren't sat down indoors talking about sports psychology and what it was. We were out in the environment, and I was watching them implicitly learn it. So the spacing, the variability, and the challenge that, and I guess just the high standards, the demands that Stuart Morgan and Dave Aldred are putting on their players is going to help players not make the mistakes that Spieth did in the Masters and Scott did in the British Open. And I'm not criticising either of those players. They're phenomenal players, and there's been times when that they have carried it home over the finish line, and all credit to them. But I'm sure they would have both liked the majors that they missed out on.
Another special thanks to our sponsor, Gravity Fit, for helping us put on this event. 3 main reasons why you should purchase a Gravity Fit are: it's based on science and research, it helps activate the deep muscle system, and it absolutely helps players improve their golf swings and improve their performance out on the golf course. To find out more, visit www.gltgolfstore.com to purchase yours, or get in contact with GLT friend and partner, Zach Parker. His email is below.
So, from a personal standpoint, I've studied this more. This has been something I've been obsessed with over the last decade. What are golfers doing in practice? What are the practice habits of a golfer where retention and transfer of skills from practice into tournament play in general is lower than other sports, say CrossFit, where when a CrossFit athlete moves into the performance arena, be it the CrossFit Open or the CrossFit Games, performance is nearly always higher. It nearly always supersedes what they achieve in training. So why in one sport is retention and transfer so high, CrossFit, and why in golf is retention and transfer from practice to competitive play lower? Again, it comes down to how we practice. One of the ways that golfers track performance in practice is this: the TrackMan Combine. Ultimately, the TrackMan Combine is a standardized test. And if you're talking maximizing retention and transfer of golf skill, spacing is too low, variability is too low, and challenge is too low. And golfers that engage in this test can get good at this test, but no better at playing golf. You stand there, you get 3 shots to 60 yards, 3 shots to 70 yards, 3 shots to 80 yards, and this repeats all the way out to, I think, 180 yards, and then you hit 3 drivers, and then you repeat again. That's a total of 60 shots. You're awarded between 0 and 100 for the accuracy of the shot. But that's not golf. 3 shots in a row. Immediately, spacing and variability is too low, thus the challenge point is too low. But TrackMan is a very popular device with a lot of people doing the combine, and it gives you a chance to compare yourself to a professional. So I could do a combine now and I could see how I compare to Justin Rose. And that's great, but it's just a test. It's just like taking a standardized test at school. If we think back to standardized tests we had when we were at school on maybe American history or on maybe biology, what can we remember now? Probably not much. We just learned it for that test. That's what TrackMan's doing. Retention and transfer of the TrackMan combine is low. And unfortunately, that's leading to frustration because golfers are getting 75, 80, 82, 83. Oh man, look how good I am at the combine. They're going out on the course and the retention and transfer is low. It's false competence. Now, if you take CrossFit, every day CrossFit has a workout of the day. So it might be, well, for example, when I did CrossFit yesterday, it was, what did we do? We did box jump burpees, double under skipping, we did pull-ups and 800 meter run and handstand push-ups. So there was 5 different skills in that, and then today the workout was squatting and there was lunging and there was bike exercises, so there was no overlap. But I logged my workout of the day and I still got to see how I compare to the elite people in the gym or the other people who'd done the same workout. And I started to notice for myself personally that, hang on, I could not do one double under skip when I first started CrossFit, and I could not do a muscle up when I first started CrossFit. And I've never focused on these in a blocked fashion, and I've never had really any technical training, and I've never had any period of time where I've committed, okay, this week I'm going to learn skipping. I've just gone to the classes, and spacing in CrossFit is massive. Like I said, if I do skipping on a Monday, I might not do it for another week. The variability is huge. Every day it's different tasks. The challenge point is massive. You repeatedly fail. I could hardly do any of the movements when I first went there. But yet, I am getting better. And I'm doing nothing in a blocked or regulated fashion. I'm in the environment, I'm competing in the gym, and I'm just learning these movements as I go along. You get the odd bit of guidance in the class if you need it, which I did. So I started to think, man, the TrackMan Combine is fun, but it's not doing anyone any favors. Imagine if the TrackMan Combine changed on a daily basis. Imagine if there were 365 combines and every day it was just a string of different shots. And every day Justin Rose or Ricky Fowler or whoever went on it, they actually, their scores posted, but then the next day it started again. That would increase spacing, it would increase variability, it would increase challenge. There would be multiple different tests, and it would be like CrossFit. Now, if TrackMan did that, would that lead to golfers actually transferring more skills to the golf course? I believe yes. Because right now, golfers are using the combine and they're building false competence. Because scores on the combine are going up, but performance on the course isn't changing. If TrackMan released a different combine every single day, yes, you know what? Scores on that combine would be lower. The overall score would be lower, but it would be more reflective of golf and transference onto the golf course where it all matters, where we all want to play better, would be higher. So at Game Night Training, we started to model CrossFit and we started to put out golf outs of the day. So we started to build practical challenges that you can use on the golf range that have high spacing, high variability, and high challenge. We post them on our Instagram, which is GL Training, and we really want to encourage people to post their scores. And by all means, continue to do the TrackMan. And the Combine's been great for golf. Don't get me wrong, this is not a criticism of TrackMan. The Combine has been great for golf. But what it is not doing, it is not helping people transfer their skills. It's just a better version of blocked or random practice. And it's more fun because you have this expensive radar. it's not a coaching tool, it's a standardized test. If you truly want to transfer your range game to the course, you need higher spacing, higher variability, and higher challenge than the TrackMan Combine offers. You need to do what they do in CrossFit, and you need to change the challenges every day, because then you implicitly learn how to get your thoughts and feelings to match your intention. You're placed under more stress. You're placed under higher challenge, just like you would be when you're out on the golf course. So that's what I now believe. I now believe psychological characteristics of excellence, the primary place that they're going to emerge, the primary place that great sports psychology arises from, is from effective practice. And yes, coaches are needed to be guides, but that explicit input, the explicit information that I used to give, it's got to be there conceptually, but ultimately we have to allow students to try and implicitly learn this. And I think the environments that Dale Aldred and Stuart Morgan are creating are fantastic for the elite golfer. For us, we want to help you. We understand that not everyone's a tour player. We understand that people have limited time. We understand that some of your club members won't be able to play these on-course games, but that doesn't mean we can't do it. Even just getting I presented at a PGA conference the other day, and we talked about a ladies group, and we talked about they all want to hit it further. So if they hit it over a certain distance off the tee, then they get a 60-yard reward. They get to go close to the green. If they don't hit it a certain distance off the tee, they get to bring it 15 yards back. So there's a punishment and a reward for driver distance. And then if they start hitting it longer and start getting those 60 yards, they'll start making more birdies. Real simple game, just to encourage some ladies to engage in a more constraints-led learning environment. Rather than stand on the range and just beat balls trying to hit it harder, take it out to the golf course where there's context. So, when we talk about this again in our breakout sessions, we're not just going to take it from the elite level and tour players and TrackMan. We've got experience in breaking this down and making it relevant for the club golfer that can maybe only practice for 1 hour a week, or that can't leave the house, that has a net in their house. There are ways that we can get innovative with this so it suits your client's needs. Okay, key takeaways before we have our breakout session. I'm not going to give you any of these. I want everyone now to take time and write down their key takeaways. There's absolutely no point me speaking and then Eric and Matthew doing a phenomenal job with the practical side of things, me speaking again and then telling you what you've learned. I want you guys to take 5 or 10 minutes to write down what you've learned, and we'll share that in the final breakout session of the day. So thank you very much to everyone for attending the first official Game Lab Training certification. Thank you to Gravity Fit for their sponsorship and time. Thank you to the Capto Putting Centre for their continued support and their sponsorship. Please take advantage of our resources. We have a podcast which is available on YouTube, Game Like Training, or our website, gltgolf.com. Please take advantage of our other certifications. I think it's fantastic that we got so many of you here today, coaches and players, but the amount of inquiries that we've had to do this online has been huge, so that's why we're filming it. We want to fulfill them. We are going to charge for this. We charge you guys to be here today. We're going to charge for the online version, and there will be a project at the end that will mean you can become a certified GLT coach and be put on our website and become part of our directory. But to run alongside that, we have my online course, Osphere, Golf Mental Performance Coaching. We have Matthew's online course, Motor Learning for Golf, and we also have Eric's online course, Teaching with Technology, and his first module looks at training aids. So please Feel free to check those out. Our new book, every single attendee here will be given a copy of our new book, and if you sign up to do the online certification, you will be emailed a copy of our book. The content in this book supports this presentation and certification very well. Our other books are available for purchase on Amazon, all Amazon platforms, or slightly cheaper from our website, gltgolf.com. If you click on store and then golf training aids, go to the book section. They're available from there. But most importantly, I guess my email address, or I like to think that, I'm very good at answering inquiries. So if you have any ideas about how we can help you or you can help us, if you want to produce blogs for us, if you want to produce some video content, Game Like Training is not just about myself, Matthew and Eric. Game Like Training is about giving people who want to make positive change in the industry and have a good message to share a platform. When myself and Matthew moved from the UK to the US, it was very hard to get our message out there. And we had a few people, some amazing professors, Dr. Tim Lee, Dr. Anders Ericsson, Dr. Richard Smith, all help us, John Kessel of USA Volleyball, Corey Walker, Golf Science Lab. So many people help give us a platform to make this day happen and start our own business. We want to do the same for you guys. So please, if you want to write blogs, if you want to produce video, please contact me. Also, if you want us to do an event at your club, myself and Zach, we tend to do clinics, effective practice and effective thinking clinics. And also, if you are a member of the PGA section and you want MSR or CPD points for this, please contact your section and we can speak with them. MSR and CPD points are being awarded in the UK, the GB&I PGA, the South African PGA, the Swiss PGA, and probably about 25% of the US sections so far. So if anyone can help us evolve that, we'd be more than grateful. So yeah, take some time, write down the key takeaways from today, and then in our breakout sessions, we'll help you adapt the information that we've given you, the science or the examples that we've done, so it fits your club, whether you're junior based, whether you're high handicapper based, whether the club is mainly retired people or there's a big female group there, whatever it might be, we can help you tailor it to their desires and their needs as a golfer. So thanks again for attending today. And thank you if you tuned in as part of the online certification. I look forward to receiving the answers to the quiz and your final projects. Thanks a lot, guys. Let's head to the breakout sessions.